Don't want no problems, you just talking. 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 I love it here. We gonna take over the year for another year. It's your bestie, Miss Westy. Don't tryna test me. It's gonna get messy. It's gonna get messy. Just bless me. Bless me. It's your bestie, Miss Westy. Just tryna bless me. Just bless me. Bless me. Don't want no problems, you just talking. 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 Don't want no problems, you just talking.
You don't want no problem with me. Yeah, you don't want no problem with Key. You don't want no problem with me. Good afternoon, good night. What's going on, Chunky Milk? This is the third week of constant constant episodes, constant like thing, whatever you call it, consistency, constant consistency. That's why it wouldn't come to me, because alliteration is not really my strong suit. That's a lie. Listen, I'm doing well. I had to cleanse the palate from the last song that we had from last week. I got a copyright strike for that, so it kind of fucked up my whole YouTube situation a little bit. But I wasn't monetized yet, so it didn't hurt that bad. But we here now, and I had to cleanse the palate with my bestie. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Today, I would like to start with, French farmers and their protest. I've seen numerous videos on Twitter about the French farmers protesting. I didn't know what the fuck they were protesting, to be honest. But the caliber to which they were protesting is just so elegant and nice. They say that the French came up with, protesting and revolting against tyranny. I think they were revolting against maybe like a tax situation or something. I have no idea what they're revolting against, but I seen them causing havoc with tractors. I seen the police barricading in a tractor into a road situation, like a pit maneuver type of thing. That was pretty entertaining. I seen them most recently carry a bale of shit covered hay. I want to assume it couldn't be just mud. They do shit things over there too, because I seen this other one where they had like a truck that seems like it would specialize in clearing out septic tanks, and it had a giant hose, and it was spraying a brown substance that I can only surmise as shit, because shit stains clothes as well as mud does, but it's also shit. So, you also don't want to touch it. Now, let me read the article. French farmers' protests continued yesterday, blocking roads and dumping imported produce across the country, demanding government action to address numerous grievances. The protests, now in their second week, are moved towards Paris after breaking out in the southwest agricultural region. At least 2 people have died during the protests. I thought they were on some Ronald McDonald bullshit. It's not funny, like R.I.P. But, oh wow, their deaths must have been like crazy, because I don't see how, well, unless it was like some police brutality type shit, I don't see how they would die from just like that. That's gonna be comedy. Like if you see that video and you put like some Three Stooges music behind it, it has to be on some idiot type hijinks death. But other than that, let me continue reading. France has roughly, 1 second. Yeah. France has roughly. Oh, that reminds me of this time I was reading in class, and I didn't know this word, so I kept like going back to like where the paragraph first started, and I was doing that for legitimately maybe 5 minutes. And I just kept going back. Sometimes I'll start completely over. Sometimes I go to the beginning of the paragraph. My teacher didn't give a fuck about me doing that. I just didn't know the word, so I just kept doing that. And then my partner at the time, he was like, when you don't know the word, and everybody started laughing. Yeah, but my phone turned black just now. So France has roughly 456,000 farms and is among the EU's highest producing countries. I'm going to guess that means European Union. With an output of over 79 billion. Okay, the protest is demanding better protection against cheaper foreign competition, continued diesel tax breaks, immediate EU agricultural subsidy payments, guarantees on health and climate insurance payouts. Well, it seems like they're just fighting for, shit that just makes sense in a growing and ever-changing world and society where they're keeping old traditions strong, and it's kind of fucking over mom and pop type joints. And most businesses start at mom and pop type joints, but it seems to be, they're holding strong to their values and trying to change with the times, but the government's kind of slow to do that, and they're trying to demand certain things, and I'm with them all the way. I know how to speak French too. I'm not gonna do it now, but I know how to speak French very fluently. That'll do fromage. So, what was the next topic I would like to talk about? That's just the first thing I just want to talk about, because I seen them going into a McDonald's with like I was saying, a bale full of shit covered hay and just smearing it everywhere and locking the door after that. But let's talk about sports for the first time ever. Chelsea has. No, I'm not gonna talk about Chelsea right now. But the WWE. Vince McMahon is accused of sexual assault. Now, that's very interesting, because if I was Vince McMahon, I would just say, everything that I do is fake. So everything I do is acting. And we were wrestling. I would say that it was a practice wrestling type of workout situation we were doing. And of course I got handsy, but then I would also say that I sexually assault everybody that's in the ring. That is our whole business as the WWE, is that we put people in situations to be sexually assaulted. Men, women, children, that's the game of the WWE. And that's just what I would say. There's nothing but oiled up middle-aged people on stage, and we act out things. We act out sexual maneuvers on each other. That's all we do. So if you want to take me down, you should have been set me down at the beginning of all this. You saw what we were doing. And just because I'm practicing with a rising star, there's an issue now? No, fuck you. That's my take as Vince McMahon. But he also had to step down as CEO in 2022 because of other devious behaviors, which also, I don't know, with these old wrestlers, they're from a different time entirely, and then they have to be a novelty, so they're kind of literally stuck in the time that they were at their peak. Look at Ric Flair. Ric Flair needs a IV. He needs vitamin D. He needs vitamin C. He needs any type of medication. That's what Ric Flair needs. Ric Flair needs a translator at this point. His speech is so slurred. I never watched wrestling, so I just knew it was fake since I was a jit. And even though people that watch it know it's fake, I think that it was just never entertaining to me. Even though my old ass grandma used to, well, not my grandma, but my grand aunt used to watch that shit, and she was like 60 plus at the time, and it was so confusing. But she used to be like, "Beat her ass, bitch." And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck are we doing? But nah, Vince McMahon, believe all victims, to be honest. Put him under the jail. I don't think he has enough money to defend himself. I think that with a great lawyer and a large amount of victims, we're definitely going to get Vince McMahon out of the paint with this one. And then, then The Rock buys WWE and makes a comeback. And, fuck, yeah, get Vince McMahon. Oh, I mean, he already stepped down as CEO. But I think he's a part-time owner, too. I'm not sure about any of these facts. I said I was going to research. I really, really, really tried. But it's just a topic that I don't give a shit about. It was just, like, interesting to me to bring up. But, yeah, on a lighter note, there was another shooting, a school shooting in Michigan. I know I have like one viewer outside the US right now, and I don't know if I've become callous to school shootings, mass shootings as a whole, because I don't have an emotion to this shooting too. I just know that it's a mental thing, and you know, people kill people, guns don't kill people. So we have to address the medical issue at this point. And it's not, the cure-all is not another pill to pop. Let's have a conversation first. You see what I'm saying? Let's actually have more communities. We have 0 communities in the United States. It's just government versus person. Everybody for themselves. That's what the energy feels like right now. And I feel like if we were to cure communities, neighborhoods, XYZ, we'll be able to, everybody would have somebody to talk to, and you would be able to relate to so-and-so, and you wouldn't be crying out for help in these ways that makes the whole country, like, feel bad type joint. And I don't know. But I don't think the cure-all is take away guns either. I think taking away guns is just not even last resort. I think if the guns were literally taken away, that's going to be the only type of revolution we'll ever see. But yeah, no, there was another shooting in Michigan. Of course in Michigan, because you know Detroit's good for what? What is Detroit good for exactly? Oh, nothing? Okay, cool. So, like I was saying, this trial is just interesting to me because this is the first trial where the mother is actually being put on stand, and she's going to take some of the responsibility for the shooter's actions. Can I get a gunshot for that one? Thank you very much. So, let me read a little bit of this article. Michigan school shooting trial. The mother of a convicted Oxford High school shooter went on trial yesterday for involuntary manslaughter charges. For the first time, a parent of a U.S. school shooter has been charged directly in connection with an attack. The father faces a separate trial in March. Prosecutors argue that Jennifer Crumbly, 45, was grossly negligent of the dangers of her son posed prior to the shooting, claiming signs of his mental instability and violent tendencies were clear. Her son was 15, killed 4 students, and injured 7 others at his school. November 30th, 2021, using a 9mm semi-automatic handgun his father bought for him for Christmas 4 days before. Wow, that's actually crazy as fuck. This nigga has pretty good aim. 9mm, he probably had like a 17 mag. He got 4 of them and injured what did I say? He killed 4 and injured 7. And he's only 15. Yeah, this nigga was a marksman for real. With a pistol, a 9mm pistol. Well, it depends on how close he was. Depends on how close he was. Yeah, I'm gonna retract that statement. I don't know if he's that good. But yeah, no, I think this is very, very interesting because, like I was saying, his mental stability and violent tendencies were clear. So, it's just bad parenting at that point, and it is the lack of resources for said parent. Even if you're a good parent, I don't think there is a proper outlet for parents to call to be like, "Hey, my child is tripping. He's a knucklehead. He's just acting up. Killed 4 of his classmates, and that, wasn't good. He didn't try his best at school that day. No gold stars for him. So I think this is a fantastic option that we got going on, where parents are going to actually start seeing jail time. Oh, he can Crumbly faces up to 15 years if convicted. That's lit as fuck, because now that makes sense too, because you have certain laws that's like, if my child misses 30 days of school, the government's gonna come to my house and be like, CPS is gonna be on my ass and bullshit. But at the same time, there was no pretense of school shooter bullshit. So now parents will be more diligent and ray-tay-tay. I think that's great. So somebody will be held accountable. And pretty much all of these things is pretty much just me getting ready for my presidency in 2024. I remember that's how my first podcast even started, is that back on Snapchat, when Snapchat was at its peak, right before DJ Khaled shit, there was we had this like presidency campaign thing that we were doing. I think this was this right before Trump? Yeah. No, this wasn't even right before Trump. This is kind of like how Biden is president right now, but we know that there's an election coming up. That's how it was with Obama at the time. Was it Obama? I mean, it had to be, right? Yeah, it had to be. But yeah. So yeah, that's just me putting my hat in the ring for 2024. Vote wisely, but go out and vote. Desantis exits the presidential race.
We did it, Joe.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis ends his Republican presidential campaign Sunday, 2 days before New Hampshire primary. DeSantis, who came in second behind former President Donald Trump in last week's Iowa caucuses by 30% points, announced his exit on X, formerly known as Twitter, while endorsing Trump. I think that was a psyop. Like, that was lit as fuck. Because, all right, all the Republicans that hated, this was crazy. So it was literally him or Trump. That's the only two options that people that sided with their ideas had, right? So then you have, it's kind of like owning. All right, this is the play that I think happened just now. I think Trump was like, "Hey, my nigga, you should run for president and eventually just back out, and then everybody only has one option after that. It's me, King Donnie." And that is a genius fucking play. Because I really don't see any other reason why he would back out of the presidential election. See what I'm saying? I don't even know any other presidential. I just got into politics, but I don't know anybody else. It's just Biden and Trump now, in my opinion. And since Biden, like we discussed last week, he decided to stop forgiving student loans. I don't know what Trump has to do. I think he has to free Larry Hoover for me to vote for him. So yeah, DeSantis backed out of the presidential election, and I think that was just a psyop that Big Donnie did. Genius, genius, genius. When will the world get back to ordinary shit? You know what I mean? I remember I was never really into politics, but I knew of things like. When I was younger, I was very, 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 very liberal, and it was pretty much because you had these people teaching about liberal things. I mean, I went to a liberal arts school. However, when I was home and in my spare time, blah blah blah, and normally revolutionaries are liberal leaning. Well, it depends on the government, innit? But yeah. So you had people that were teaching me about, being a liberal and being more conscious and all these types of things, and empathetic, like Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart, at the time, he was on The Daily Show, and I was a big fan of The Daily Show. I can't even say still am, because I haven't watched The Daily Show in years. But a producer for The Daily Show says that Jon Stewart may be returning, and I don't know if he should. I like when you leave when you're on top. Either leave when you're on top or stay and die on the field with some honor. Yeah, those are the two options that I agree with the most. And him coming back, I mean, nobody else could fill his shoes, so I don't know why he left in the first place. And it's kind of sad because the Daily Report sucks because Stephen Colbert is up somebody's ass every week. He's like a puppet at this point. He's a hollow shell of what Jon Stewart could have been. And I think he accepted too much money, and he has too big of a contract at this point to ever go against the grain in any sense or form of the matter. So we're just watching a man parade himself up and down for the big wigs upstairs and sitting on $100 million without any respect from even the followers that he used to have or the detractors that he used to have too. It became less a political show. I mean, also all the writers on there kind of suck dick. Yeah, none of them are good anymore. And they kind of do what, they kind of did start to let a new host come around, every week or so. They tried Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah kind of stuck around for a little bit. But even Trevor Noah's, how do I say this? He's like the type of person that you hire. It seems to me like Trevor Noah's whole thing is a affirmative action hire. That's why I feel like everybody was that took the Daily Show. Well, not even just the Daily Show, but had those like night type of comedy shows that were about politics and shit like that. They even gave Charlemagne one for 3 seconds. But Trevor Noah's just stuck around because Trevor Noah's comedy is pretty funny. It's just, I don't think he was ready for those shoes to be filled. He put the shoes on and they shrank to his size. They were big ass shoes and they shrank to his size, like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I don't know if I agree with him coming back. I'm just excited to see what happens. Either way, right now the Daily Show is dead, and it's dead as the Alabama death penalty. The first U.S. execution using nitrogen gas is expected to be carried out today in Alabama after the Supreme Court rejected arguments that the procedure was at a risk of being carried out incorrectly. The inmate, 50-year-old Kenneth Smith, was convicted in 1988 on a murder for hire plot, which is fucked up. Like, you're supposed to, okay. If I was on death row, I'd be like, all right, nigga, hurry the fuck up type shit. You see what I'm saying? It costs more, and since I'm not even on death row, it costs more money to keep niggas alive than it does to kill them. Secondly, I don't even want the government to be able to kill people. That's another thing. Thirdly, I think that prison should be a worse environment than it is, and the sentencing should be shorter, right? Because I think taking away somebody's time, other than killing somebody, taking away somebody's time is the wickedest thing that you could do. That's why I don't like my time being wasted, you dumb bitch. Sorry, I'm gonna keep my personal life separate. So, yeah, I think taking away somebody's time is the most wickedest thing that you could do. So I think, all right, if you kill somebody, if you're a serial killer, I think that you should get maybe like 15 years, right? 15 years for maybe 3 years every person you killed. No, that's not good enough. Well, okay, yeah. 3 years every person you killed up till 5. Then after 5, 21 years behind bars, right? But, no, I think a life sentence is what, 25 years? I don't know what life sentence is, but life sentence should be 25 years. And then if you're a serial killer, you then kill 5 people, let's say. And I think prison should be something where like you eat literally the same shit every day, and it's like gray mush with just the right vitamins to keep you alive type shit. I think these people should have a sentencing close to like Griffith from Berserk, like that terrible of a sentence. I think that your cell should be so uncomfortable. There should be no cushioning on the beds either. I think that your cell should be so uncomfortable that you don't know where to sit or stand, and both of them is a shitty option. And there's no outside time whatsoever. I think that too. But also, I think that every police station should have like a minimum of maybe like 10 detectives. All right, maybe 1 detective for every 3 officers, every 5 officers, right? And without meeting those requirements, you cannot be a police station anymore. And because I think having a detective is more important than having a police officer, because you have to know how to investigate shit that's going on. You can't just go to a crime scene and arrest people that are talking or arrest people that are moving around funny, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, so, you see what I'm saying? So, prison should be worse. Sentencing should be less. Pay police officers more. But they have to do their job well. And there should be a 2-strike system. 1 strike is a dox of pay, and the 2nd strike is a firing without the ability to work for the government for a year. So you can't go, or you can't work for infrastructure for a year, not just the government. You can't get a construction job. You can't do anything like that. You can just do fast food and nursing homes and fucking gas station and shit like that for a year. Then you can come back and apply again. You see what I'm saying? The punishment should be more severe for when you fuck up your job as a police officer, I feel like. But yeah, no, Alabama is the place that I would think would invent a new way to do capital murder. So the vast majority of the U.S. executions over the past 5 decades utilized lethal injection. Alabama approved the use of nitrogen gas as an execution method in 2018 amid a shortage of drugs required for lethal injection and mounting criticism over the method. The subject dies of nitrogen hypoxia. While the non-toxic gas makes up 78% of ambient air, the 100% nitrogen gas lacks any oxygen, effectively leading to suffocation. Damn, that's like painful as fuck. I know. Maybe the electrocution was too expensive as well, because that's high power outage. But that shouldn't be that. I don't think they should be killing people anyway. So I never want to think about how expensive that is. The state attempted to execute Smith in 2022, but the prison officials called the procedure after reportedly failing to connect the intravenous lines required for lethal injection. I'm thinking they missed a vein or something. Maybe he's like a meth junkie. He used up all his good veins and shit. Who knows? Maybe he's a great guy. Maybe he's a fucking innocent man. Who knows? Now, this is part of the show where we're going to take a different type of dive. We're going to discuss some things because I like to be the solution to the problems that I discuss all the time. You know, if we don't have solutions to the problem that we discussed, then what the fuck are we doing? We're just venting. No, I don't like that shit. So, firstly, I just want to bring up some situations that we were going through my mental in the past couple of days and how I maneuvered around them, and then how I will, what I learned from all these situations. So, it's very interesting to me how a lot of people only accept messages from people that are perfect. I think that's why we say Jesus was born of a virgin and he is the son of Christ, son of God. And of course he's perfect in every way, right? And that's why a lot of Christians can accept his message, is that he's the idealized version of man. I think that, okay, if your pastor taught you not to cheat, and taught you not to cheat, taught you not to steal, taught you not to kill, and then you grow up 10 years later and you find out that the congregation finds out that he's been cheating on his wife for 3 years, a lot of people will, bastardize his whole message and not listen to him anymore. But what I'm saying is you can separate message from messenger. You can separate good values from bad people. I think in all actions and all stories and all situations in my life, I have been able to separate art from artist and learn lessons that most people would harbor hate for other people. I love them because they taught me so much. I look back on certain situations and I learned so much about myself and about the world and about other people's behavior as well, that it's just so natural to me now, where you can, just learn from any type of situation. I was reasoning with one of my partners a couple of days ago, and I was saying how how do I word this? I was saying how from everybody else's, from people's perspective, from other people's perspective, they're always doing right. If you even attribute this to Thanos, he snapped his finger and killed half the universe, and even sacrificed his only daughter. Well, not his favorite daughter, pretty much his only daughter, to achieve his goals of saving half the universe. He thought in his mind, he's saving half the universe. He's not killing half the universe. He's sacrificing half the universe to save half of the universe. And the Avengers from perspective is, nah, nigga, like that. You can't choose who lives and who dies. You can't do that shit. And that's pretty much what I'm saying is, from everybody else's perspective, they think they're doing very good. So I like to look at everything from my perspective, from their perspective, and an objective perspective, because there's objective truth. Well, that's interesting too, because everything is perspective, but there's duality in all things. So I think there's perspective, and then there's objective truth, and then in perspective there's my perspective and others' perspectives. So those are the two forms of duality right there, polarity right there. I don't know. It's kind of interesting how people have to be perfect for their message to matter. I think that the more disciplined somebody is, the more Christ conscious somebody is, the higher value their words have. Like, if you think of the most wisest person on earth, I bet they don't talk much. I bet they're older. I bet they have gray hair. I bet you can't imagine them doing malice as well. I bet they just do all good moral things. However, nobody's perfect. So you should be able to practice separating yourself from your perspective and just digesting the words, because I think your perspective is the only one that makes that person imperfect, because everybody's perfect as themselves. And also we are all one. That's how we have the ability to do these things that I'm talking about, how we have the ability to, go outside of our minds and feel other people's perspectives, feel other people's emotions. And I think that's an interesting subject matter. But also there is some type of people that like their heroes to be flawed in some ways. And I think out of the two, that's the group that I would subscribe to. I enjoy, although I have no idols, I am inspired by certain qualities from flawed heroes. The second thing I want to talk about is how I had an incident, not even an incident, it was so small, but somebody was being passive aggressive, asking me for a favor, and they're younger than me, and I was trying to teach them a lesson, and I was intentionally making the whole asking very difficult for them because they were being passive aggressive. They didn't come out right and ask me, can I borrow a pencil? They would say, Jeffrey just stole my pencil and I need a pencil. And I would say, like, are you asking me for a pencil or are you telling me that you don't have a pencil? And then their response was like, never mind, I don't need a pencil. And I was like, okay, anyhow you need a pencil, just ask. Because that's the truth. Anyhow you would have asked for a pencil, of course I would give you a pencil if I have another pencil. But I think as men, we need to learn how to communicate properly. I think there's too many effeminate men that live in their emotions, and that's the most dangerous. An undisciplined man that lives in his emotions is the most destructive and difficult to be around, the most combative type of man in a bad way. I think that the best thing for you to do is learn to control your emotions and have these difficult conversations, because there's going to be this is what I told him, is that there will be much more difficult conversations in life. And this was a layup, this was a layup during high school practice. And eventually you're going to make it to the league and you're going to have to hit, a shot like a buzzer beater off your pivot with two defenders in your face from half court, and you must make that shot. So you should practice this layup first now, so you even get comfortable hearing the net recoil. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think moving forward, right now I'm doing a juice cleanse, and I think I made this juice cleanse up myself. Well, no, I made this juice cleanse up myself. this week I'm drinking nothing but red juice. The recipe is it's mainly carrot juice, to be honest, carrot juice, beet juice, and I'm going to every week make a different batch of juice that is reflective of the chakra colors, and from there I'm going to like ascend my chakras to my crown chakra, essentially, with drinking this juice and going along how I normally am going along. I'm trying a new livid. I'm not going to broadcast it just yet. See what goes around with that. And yeah, I hope you had a wonderful time with me. If you did, please leave us a review and comment something to be like, yeah, I made it to the end. But let me know what you think about this episode. This is going to be the new structure for the foreseeable future. But yeah, we're doing well. So thank you, Chunky Milk. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. I love you too.
That shit out her closet's hot as hell. She got on easy up. I got moles with me. Bump out the feds, man. I got foes with me. You got goofies with you. Before I do that, I keep some hoes. Bomba for my gun when I'm in Cali, nigga. This your city. Why you DM my bitch? I got like we fuck these hoes below city. Street niggas won't rain me. I'm like calamari. Offset with this Cuban link. You think she was Cardi? 3 gang leaders with me all times. I don't know who I fucked last night. I got Alzheimer's. I don't know who them hoes is. Man, they all lying. Brody, tell me who them hoes is. Man, they all fine. 100 hooligans and we with the foolishness. I'm anti-Semitic.